What up, my peeps? It's your Knuckle Big Rucker back at you again with another Marvel Legends action figure review. This time we're talking about the Spider-Man Retro Series Wave 2 Ben Reilly. Bringing up the rear to this entire wave. It took some doing to get here. Hobgoblin and Ben Reilly were the last two I needed, and they turned out to be the most, I don't want to say problematic, but burdensome in trying to acquire. Anyway, we got him. We did Hobgoblin last, and we're doing Ben Reilly Spider-Man next. And finishing off this wave 2 of the retro series, vintage wave Spider-Man, getting it in. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get it started. We've got, as we can plainly see, the Spider-Man logo at the top. This is the retro series, so it is on the card. You got the Ben Reilly artwork there, based off of, looking like the cartoon from the 90s. Turning around, we've got in the back there more of that artwork. You've got the Spider-Man logo there. You've got the sketch that shows how you can exchange hands. And of course, below you've got the other figures in this wave, all of which have been reviewed. You've got the Spider Armor Mark 1, Hammerhead, Symbiote Spider-Man, Hobgoblin, which we reviewed last, and of course, the Shocker. And speaking of course, we've got the readout, which is after years of self-imposed exile, Spider-Man is back, now calling himself Ben Reilly and sporting a brand new costume and web shooters. The wall crawler returns to fight crime. Interesting how they played this like Ben Reilly is actually the one true Peter Parker, because at the time we were made to think he actually was. Anyhow, getting back to the front here, we've got one last look at our boy Ben. As you know, with these retro carded figures, once you get in, it's over with, done deal. So without further ado, it's time to get Ben out. Mr. Reilly comes with 2 additional pair of hands. This right here, of course, are his fisted hands. Looking at the paint apps on there, looking pretty good. They're not slicey. I'm very happy about that. Ben Reilly Spider-Man also comes with a pair of wall crawling hands, and the paint apps are pretty good on these too. It's a doggone shame that the very first one, the superposable Spider-Man from Wave 1, which of course we all know and love, and it's a great figure, didn't come with a set of these. That's just crazy. And here we have Ben Reilly Spider-Man out of the packaging as he was in packaging, with his whipping hands attached to him on our rotating platter, giving us a 360-degree visual of the figure, front and back. And what you can see right there is he's got the classic Ben Reilly costume. It has the traditional Spider-Man colors, but you see it's just there are the differences. There definitely are the differences. We will examine those differences when we get him off of the platter. He's on the superposable buck, so you already know that we've got good things coming. So let's go ahead and get him off of the platter and see what's what. So here we have Ben Reilly, aka Spider-Man, up close and personal. Starting with his head, he's got the same head sculpt that the superposable Spider-Man has. There's no difference at all, not even in the eyes. They're both the same for what passes for Spider-Man's eyes. Narrow. Same attention to detail when it comes to the web line work. My lines are nice and clean. You see that turning into the side. And then the other side looking good. Looking at the top of his head. If I can get it where it's clear. There it is right there. You can see it's pretty clean. Gotta love that. The line work down the neck. He's got the spider symbol on his chest. You see that that's one of the bigger differences between Ben and Superposable. And you see that his front arms are going up and over around, we'll call it his neck area, because his second set of arms, they branch out around his shoulders. And the third set, they start to go out towards his ribs, and then they start to point down, as you can see that right there. And then the last two sets of arms, or legs, I should say, they go out and down to the bottom of his lower torso. So that's what you got there. Looking at those arms, you see that they're molded in blue. Ben Reilly wears his web shooters on the outside, as you can see, and they're molded in silver. Looks kind of plasticky. We've seen that before. Same thing goes on the other side. His hands, looking at the hands, you see that they've got the web lines painted on the red parts of his hands, and that's the other difference that you could see there. Whereas Peter Parker Spider-Man, his gloves are just straight up red with the black web lines. Here, it's almost like he's wearing blue fingerless gloves with red fingers, but it's all one set of gloves, just two different colors. So you've got that there. You also have, as we go further down, it's molded in that blue. He's got the webs, the red webs on at the bottom there. It goes from his knees all the way down to his feet, but it's only on the outside. The interior of the leg is blue, same as the other side there. You can see that going on. He's got, of course, since this is the Superposable Buck, which came out well before they started doing pinless, he's got the pins, and bottom pin there is red, top is blue. Unfortunately, what that means is that bottom red pin is going to come out on the other side because his pants are two-toned. It is what it is. Going down, you can see that spider butt, and then you've got the logo on the back there, and you see that it's also just as large as the logo on the front. In fact, the crazy thing is the forward legs, they connect, so it's like it's a conjoined spider, and the second set also connect as they come around the shoulders, and then you've got the same as you had before with the third set going out and then down on the rib cage, and the fourth set going down to the bottom of the red of the costume. And that's how it goes down with our Ben Reilly. And that's how it goes down there, as we took that look. As far as his articulation, his head is on a dumbbell, and he actually gets some pretty good lookups right there. He can look down that far. He can, of course, do the 360. He can give you that attitude. You gotta love that. That's one of the advantages of having the dumbbell joint. Pretty cool. Obviously, he's got the butterfly joints for his shoulders. That makes for some excellent articulation with his arms. He can do about a 90 with the shoulders, 360 on the rotation with those shoulders. He's got a 360 with the bicep, double jointed pinned elbows. Once again, this is this came out before they started doing pinless. He's got swivel for the wrists and a hinge. As far as his ab articulation, he can bend forward at the top there. He can get over, see if I do that again, he can get over about that much, go back that much. He can go side to side like that. He can lean with it, rock with it. So you got that, and then he has the additional ab crunch right there, so you can get even more. And that goes for going back too. That's just crazy right there. See, this is why you need to have this buck with a character like Deadpool. If you recall, like in that last movie, he caught a bad one with his back, and it went this far back, and actually went even further back in one of the scenes in that second Deadpool movie. And you, like I said, you're going to get your rotation at the diaphragm. Legs, his hips, he can go out that far. They are dropped down, so you get that. You can lift them up 90. They can go back about that much. He's got the thigh cut, double jointed pinned knees. He's got a cut at his calf. He could point his leg, or rather his leg. He could point his toe that far. He could point it up that far. And he's got the ankle pivot. And of course, he's got peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Here's Ben brandishing his fists and just having a little fun. I've got those butterfly joints all the way back. I tell you, every figure should have them. And here we have Ben with his crawling hands, and got him on the display where he's crawling on the floor. Get up, Ben. What you doing? Getting that measurement of Ben Reilly Spider-Man, we are looking at about 6 1/4 inches tall, which translates into 15.5 centimeters. Here we've got our new Ben Reilly from the Retro series next to the prior Ben Reilly that we got. As you can see, it was on the Pizza Spidey mold. It's amazing how when we would get a good, appropriate Spider-Man mold, that Hasbro would ride it. It makes sense. They're doing the same thing now with the superposable buck, and hey, you gotta love it. So here we have Ben next to Peter Parker, the shall we say the DNA donor, as Ben is Pete's clone. And here they are together, and you can see the differences in their respective costumes. Obviously, you've got different shades of blue, and Ben's red is a little more vibrant than Pete's. But you see where the inspiration comes from for Ben. And here's Ben next to Peter again, only we've got a costume change here. We've got Pete in his symbiote suit. Symbiote Spider-Man, Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Next you've got Ben surrounded by Pete now. You've got Symbiote Spider-Man on Ben's right or left, and you've got Pete in the Spider Armor Mark 1 on his left, our right. And now you've got Ben, the Peters, and the Hobgoblin. Here we've got Ben, the Peters, Hobby, and the Shocker. And finally, we've added Hammerhead to the mix. And so here we have it, lo and behold, the entire wave, Spider-Man Retro Series Wave 2. From our left to right, we've got the Hobgoblin, Symbiote Spider-Man, Hammerhead, Ben Reilly Spider-Man, Spider Armor Mark 1, and the Shocker. Yes, indeed, a very, very excellent wave, retro wave. You gotta love it. We got not one, but 2 Spider characters on the superposable buck. Sky's the limit with that. Mention it in the comments below what you're trying to see with this superposable buck. I say Daredevil, Deadpool. Hey, we can keep going. If you're a street level character that's agile, you could use this buck. Moon Knight, the list goes on. But yes, this would that buck is great, and we got it twice in the same wave. You got to love that. We got the shiny Mark 1 Spider Armor. I was fawning all over that figure because of the shiny, the metallic paint apps. It was just banging. The only caveat to that, it needed to be a little bit taller, obviously, because you've got Peter, who has to fit inside the armor. And when you're looking at the figures, you can clearly see that the Spider Armor Mark 1 is shorter. We've got the Shocker, great figure in terms of the accuracy. The caveat there is the so-called, the quote-unquote quilt lines aren't painted in. I wish they were painted in darker to just bring out the figure. Plus, that's the way he looked both in the cartoon and in the comics. And as I stated before, I want to take a micro pen to it and try my hand, but I'm afraid of messing up. But maybe I'll get the courage and I'll do it. We've got Hammerhead. He's on that Happy Hogan body, kind of modified for him. It's just great. He's large enough. He's bulky enough. This is the Hammerhead that we wanted. It's the Hammerhead that we've got. It's just great. I can say no more about that figure. It's great. He's got the size and the pinstripe suit. It's just like how he's usually portrayed, especially in the beginning. Most of the time he was portrayed drawn with a blue pinstripe suit, and this is what we have now. And of course we've got the Hobgoblin. This is another re-release, just like the Shocker, and this one is more accurate to the 90s cartoon. It's missing the chainmail, and the colors are brighter. I think that they should have given us a different head sculpt. It's the same exact head sculpt as was on the prior version. And the shoes are different, making it problematic. It's normal shoes. It makes it difficult to put him in his accompanied Goblin glider, and you have to get creative with how you're going to pose that. But other than that, it's pretty good. I didn't mention Symbiote Spider-Man. Mentioning him now, he is a black suited Spider-Man actually, because if he was the symbiote, he'd have holes in the white patches on the tops of his hands. But glad to have him. He's on that superposable buck, so it's all good in the neighborhood with him. And of course, we've reviewed Ben Reilly, and yeah, definite great upgrade. But what else are you going to say? He's on the superposable buck as well. In terms of rating this wave, now that's pretty hard. I'd probably I'm going Hobgoblin is coming in at number 6. The Shocker's coming in at number 5. They probably get the lower level of triple L's because they're, we've seen them before. The Hobgoblin's obvious redo period, whereas Shocker is redone, as in different body and the whole nine. So it's kind of like a been there, done that, but somebody's got to ride the bottom. So Hobby's at 6, Shocker's at 5. I'm gonna give 4 to Symbiote Spider-Man. 3 is going to go to, it's real difficult, but I'm going to give it to Spider Armor Mark 1. And 2 is going to go to Ben Reilly. Number 1's got to be Hammerhead, for sure. He just set it off, in my opinion. And yeah, glad to add him. I was glad to swap out the chameleonized Hammerhead, or the Hammerheadized chameleon, however you want to look at it. We've got a genuine Hammerhead, and he took the place in the display that I've got going on. And yeah, it's just all good. This is a great wave. If you haven't picked it up yet, they're in Targets. In fact, they're starting to get more of them. Before, a lot of Targets were getting piecemealed. They were just getting one figure in the wave, and that was it. But now I've seen lately 3 figures, 4 figures hanging up there on the pegs. So it should be relatively easy for you to accumulate all the figures in this wave. They're also been popping up in Walmarts, so you've got that as an option too. But anyway, what we're going to do now is opt out of this review. Thank you guys for rocking with me. We made it through all 6 figures. Spider-Man Retro Series Wave 2. This is Wave 1 of the Ruckus in his inaugural year of making these videos. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And remember to smash that bell so you could be notified whenever I upload my next video. Peace, my friends, and remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.